Thank you for joining me today for my 4th edition of Ask Brett here on Facebook. I'd like to start by giving a shout out and a big thank you to CuraJoy for inviting me to do another great event for you here today. Last month, we discussed true love, how to find it and what it is. And many of you shared great stories with me about how you already applied the simple ideas that we discussed, and you've already recognized improvements in your relationships and the way you feel. I can't tell you how happy that makes me. I'm also very happy for you and grateful that you used the tools to improve your life. Now, before we get too far into today's show, I want to quickly remind you of a couple important housekeeping items, okay? First, remember throughout today's show that you can click the like button or the heart button at any time, and that'll let me know that you're enjoying what we're discussing and also help my team to gather information and be sure what topics to discuss more in the future. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to like CuraJoy's page and hop on over to my page and like it as well. That way we can both stay connected and be sure that we provide you with any updates on new events and ensure that you're receiving the materials we send out weekly, such as new video tips and tools to help you create a healthier and more prosperous life. Okay? Also, an important note, if you haven't entered already, you should definitely go over and enter the contest I'm running for one of you to receive a free month of life coaching from me. The coaching that we receive is extraordinary and it will change your life. And when you win the contest, it's worth a minimum of $5,000. So I definitely take the opportunity to enter. All you have to do is go over to the web address that I'm showing on the screen right now, which is brettballman.com/contest. And there's 3 simple steps to enter. All you have to do is like my page, subscribe to the mailing list, and you're in. Okay? So if you've got something that you've wanted to change for a long time, or a goal that you've been wanting to accomplish or achieve, this is your chance. So don't miss it. All right? And our last housekeeping item, let's make sure everyone out there in TV land can actually hear what I'm saying and see me. So if everything's working on your end, and you can see me fine, and you can hear me okay, please go ahead and put a Y in the comment box, okay? And if you're having trouble, you can let us know there as well. Okay? Got a lot of Y's coming in, so I guess everyone's seeing me okay. Okay? Great. Also, let's have some fun real quick, and let's see where everybody's tuning in from. So if you will, go back to the chat box real quick and just toss up a quick hello and mention what part of the world you're in, okay? Okay, awesome. Wow, we got a bunch of them coming in. There's a bunch of them popping up now. Let's see. Wow, got a bunch on the East Coast. See quite a few people from Europe, UK, Ireland, Egypt, China. Wow, a bunch of people in Colorado. Hi, Colorado. Looks like we got a lot of people joining in from everywhere, so thank you guys. All right, now let's have an awesome show today, and let's get going. Now, as we begin, there's one important note that I would like to make for everyone, okay? And this is when you step back, when you simply step back from problems in your life that you're facing, whether you're dealing with a negative relationship or trying to overcome a problem of the past, such as anxiety or lack of motivation, the real solution, the real answer is paying attention to how you're treating yourself and how you're treating others. Let me explain this for you. What I mean is this. We can get so caught up in problems that we tend to start acting like a problem. Everything we do is in relation to the problem, or we don't take action and do anything because of the problem. All right? We start using it as an excuse. Then in turn, we begin to feel like a victim or that we're suffering, and that causes us to present an attitude of being a victim to other people in our lives. And it also causes us to treat other people differently than we would treat them if we were doing and feeling the best in our own lives. Does that make sense to you? It's a way to calibrate and see where you're at. You see, one of the things that I'm most passionate about, and one of the things I've become most skilled about doing, is finding a way to take a complex problem or idea and simplify it. This allows you to look at a problem in a different way, and therefore approach the way you solve it more effectively. So the first thing I'd like for you to take away from our show today is this simple idea that the next time you aren't feeling the way you want, or you're not getting the results that you want, take a breath, step back for a moment, then recognize how you've been treating yourself. Have you been speaking negatively to yourself? Have you been micromanaging yourself and putting a lot of pressure on yourself to get things done? Are you listening to what your body's telling you that you need, or are you just putting your head down and plowing through even though you're not getting the results you want? It happens a lot. And even further, how are you treating other people, right? How are you treating the people around you? Look at your coworkers and your friends, and definitely look at your loved ones. Do you feel that you've been the best that you can be? Or do you recognize how stress and focus on the issues in your life has caused you to behave differently than you would prefer? This is just a little simple step that you can do each day that will refocus your mind, okay? And move you from negative thinking to positive thinking, which in turn helps you to choose what you want to be doing in your life and who you want to be, right? So you can take action to obtain those things. Now, this brings me to the topic of today's show. Our topic is forget luck and create success. Seeing as we just passed St. Patrick's Day, I figured this would be a good topic to cover. And we can learn a little bit more about how we can become lucky in life and what you can do to better control your success. So what is luck? Is luck really even a thing? If so, why does it seem that only certain people get to enjoy the benefits of being lucky, and so many others seem to feel like we're cursed, right? And you can improve your luck, right? Can you improve your luck by learning new skills or changing behaviors? You can, right? So let's do that. Let's learn today how to improve your luck and create more success for you in your life. All right? Now, the first thing I want to tell you, there's a lot of discussion on what luck is really. I mean, if you look it up on Wikipedia, it tells you the definition varies from context to context. If you're discussing luck philosophically, it's understood one way. And if you're studying it religiously or mystically, it's different. So what this means is the definition of luck changes based on the experience and the beliefs of the person who's describing it. That's great news for us. Because what that tells me, what that means is you can create your own luck. But the key to using its powers to your benefits comes in your ability to see luck before it happens. So real quick, I want to tell you a story about a good friend of mine who experienced his own brand of luck recently. But originally, he sure didn't feel like he was lucky. Okay, so a good friend of mine earlier this year was out having dinner with his fiancée and celebrating their anniversary, when all of a sudden he began to feel strange. And long story short, he ended up being rushed to the hospital. Shortly afterwards, he found out that he was having a heart attack. Of course, it scared him and his fiancée quite a bit. And my friend started really getting down on himself for letting himself get into the situation, right? But as luck would have it, when the doctors went in to conduct his heart surgery, they found that 2 of his arteries were completely blocked and one of them had a blood clot that would have killed him had he not had the heart attack and the doctors found it. So in the end, the heart attack actually saved his life. You see, from the front end, it sounds like a nightmare. But if he wouldn't have had the heart attack, they would have never found the blood clot, and today, my friend would be dead. And this is not the first story of this happening. I could go on for days and days with stories of people who felt like they were at the end of the rope. They were stuck with no options and ready to give up on life when all of a sudden, something turned around and they realized they were closer to the solution than they thought. Okay? So today, we're going to work with my definition of luck, which is a definition and understanding that I've polished and refined for almost 2 decades. And on top of that, I have a track record of consistent, successful results to bring me confidence in this process that I'm going to share with you. So today, let me share it with you real quick, okay? You know the drill. Grab something to write with. I'll give you a second, and then we'll get started. Okay, should add something already anyway. Okay, so here we go. So first off, let me provide you with my definition for my concept of what luck is. Now, this is how I put it simply. Luck is preparation meeting purpose. Let me say it again. Luck is preparation meeting purpose. What this means is that the more you're prepared and knowing who you are and what you want, the more luck will become an ingredient in your life and your pursuits. Think about it for a moment. If you spend time with the right attitude, being positive and believing in yourself, using curiosity and gratitude as leading emotions, can you begin to recognize how things would change in your life and start to come better into focus? You'll have a clear understanding of who you are and of the projects you want to take on, the skills you want to build, right? So that you can achieve the ideal you. But in contrast, if you have a bad attitude and you go around complaining all the time and using negative self-talk to beat yourself up, then you won't even be motivated to start the work. You have to start your journey with desire, passion, and curiosity for growth, right? When you're using these tools, these things for a positive reason, then you have more discipline and commitment to build a successful plan. When you apply this process in the same way, you'll get yourself motivated. You'll start to have a desire to do the work again. And you'll try to figure out the next thing in your career path that you actually want. It's clarity. Always make sure that the plans you have in place and the goals you're setting are there because you're excited about them. They excite you, and you clearly understand the benefits that you'll gain once you accomplish them and have done all the work. This means that as you start to follow through the steps I'm going to give you here in just a moment, you should start to notice yourself experiencing better luck. And by better luck, what I mean is days of better clarity, days where you feel more motivated, days where you can see results consistently happening to you. But before you can enjoy the benefits, you have to do the work. So right now, I'm going to give you 3 steps that will help you to noticeably improve the results you're getting in any area of life. It doesn't matter whether you're focusing on improving your health, improving a relationship, or even your career. The steps are designed to change the way you think and the way you approach solving a problem. Okay? So here we go. Step number 1. It's actually your attitude. I actually wrote an article about this in last month's CureJoy online titled Attitude is Everything. And it's true. Your attitude is your approach to life. Your attitude defines whether you're an optimistic person who sees a hurdle up ahead and thinks it is a challenge, or whether you're a pessimist who sees a block on the road and no way around. Your attitude will tell whether you believe you'll be successful or not, and whether you feel that you're worthy of the position or the result that you're going after. So the first and most important step to make sure that you're doing, if you want to improve your chances for luck to be on your side, is to have the right attitude. And the good news is that I've already provided you with a 3-step plan on how to improve your attitude in my last CureJoy article. So you can go and find that right now on CureJoy's Facebook page, on their website, or simply by going to the link that I provided on the screen right now. And here's my suggestion to you. Do this today. There's no better time than the present to take action. Statistics have shown over and over and over again that the longer you wait to solve a problem, the harder it becomes for you to follow through. Okay? And the best part, the part that I haven't even mentioned yet, is the fact that just by putting focus on improving your attitude will improve. Now, step number 2. Number 2 is usually the one that people get hung up on, because the next step is to face your fears. Now, some of you might be asking yourself, how does facing my fears help me become more lucky? Well, the answer is simple. When you can identify and put a name on a problem or fear, then you begin to remove the power it has over you. Next, you're able to start looking at the problem objectively instead of emotionally, and therefore it becomes easier for you to understand and decide if this fear really has any merit in your life at all. I'll tell you, in my 20 years of coaching, I have found that greater than 50% of the fears that we have are false. This means that all the fears we have that we avoid, all the fears we suppress, the ones that shape our identities and ultimately the direction of our lives, are simply unfounded. So let me say that again. In my 20 years of coaching, I can say confidently that more than 50% of the problems that my clients have brought to the table have been quickly identified as not valid to my client's life. So what this is telling you to do is go for it. Think of your fears as challenges and make a list. List everything from fear of flying to fear of heights, all the way down to the fear of not being motivated or not being good enough. Remember, as you go through the process, you should already have a positive attitude and an attitude of curiosity about creating and discovering new things that you want in your life. So by the time you get to step 2, and you have to actually face your fears and make a list of them, you should be able to separate somewhat from the fear and understand that the reason you're looking at it, the reason that you're even focusing on the fear is to be able to solve it or recognize that it doesn't really exist for you now. Okay? Now, I feel it's important for me to give you an example real quick of a fear that you might have or might discover later that doesn't exist for you. Because sometimes this can be a little unclear. But many times I'll have clients who hire me to help them accomplish a goal. And they'll have a fear inside that goal telling them at some point they will fail. This happens a lot, especially when you're building a business or relationship or trying to take on a new routine in your life, a new behavior. But we start to create these false fears and problems that don't exist yet. So rather than focusing on the next step that's necessary to lose 20 pounds, such as waking up each day and being motivated to work out, or making sure that you follow your meal plan, what most people do is begin to worry about the potential threats that may happen down the line, such as, what if my work gets busy and I can't make it to the gym for a couple days? Or what if my schedule gets thrown off and I'm not able to eat my meal plan? These are fears and questions we start putting in our mind that slow your momentum and slowly and gradually start to pull you off track. When this happens, you simply need to go back to the plan that you developed and work the plan. Follow each step without tying emotion to it, and focus on the outcome that you want instead of the potential roadblocks. And as I said a few minutes ago, most of the time you're going to realize that the fears, they're unfounded. Okay? So take a deep breath, start with a positive attitude, and face your fears. Okay? Now, to take it a step further, when you're looking at your fears, you should start to realize whether they apply to the life that you want to be living. Okay? Much of the time, the problems we have in our life are there because of something that we actually want, but that we're not getting. Okay? So the fears are there because there's something that we actually want, but we're not getting. And you'll be able to see what skills you can learn or what changes you can make right now that will empower you and give you a much higher chance for being lucky. So what I like to do is make a list. Make a list of your top 3 to 5 fears. Okay? Then take one fear at a time and try to understand what area of life that fear relates to. Does that fear relate to your abilities, or to your skills, or to your relationships, or your career, or even your health? Whatever it is, identify what area of life this fear resides in and write it down. Now, I want you to look at that fear and ask yourself, what can I do to remove this fear from my life? Is there something that I need to learn? Or is there something that I need to do? Once you have that answer, you'll be able to understand whether you have the discipline to accomplish that goal or whether it's not a priority to you in your life. Okay? Does that make sense? Overall, what you're doing here is removing the emotion from the problem. So you can then create a strategy to improve your life with a clear, conscious mind. But just like sitting in a room with a bunch of babies that are crying, it's not very easy to think with all that noise around you. The problems in your head, the problems in your life, the negative self-talk are just like babies crying in a nursery. The more noise, the harder it is for you to think and to produce. And I can guarantee it's affecting the overall quality of your life. These negative thoughts, this noise in your head. So approach your fears again with a positive attitude and an attitude of curiosity, which means that you're interested in learning something new because you see the benefit in doing so. Excellent. All right, so let's go to step number 3, the final step. I like to call this the execution step. And the reason is because the whole idea of this plan is execution. If you develop the plan and don't work it, the plan means nothing. Plus, the plan is not just about setting goals, right? Or creating a list of things you want to accomplish. It's about clearing up commitments and outstanding issues of the past. Because to be honest, if we're talking about luck, I believe the luck will be on your side when you clean up all the messes that you've left behind in life. So, what you're going to do here is sit down and create a timeline first, okay? Timeline is when you want to start working on the goal and what your ideal date would be to accomplish the goal. Now, the end date doesn't need to be so rigid, but it should be used instead to keep you on track and to help you understand how your progress is going. Now, after you've chosen your beginning and your end date, you should sit down and determine how many steps there are in the journey. Don't rush this. Patience is a virtue. And trust me, when you rush, the research and development, the project never ends up being what you want it to be. The most important part of any process is your preparation, because in the preparation you determine your discipline, your resources, and your ability to execute the plan. So take your time and have fun with it. The way you create something is the way it will live. So if you approach these new goals and aspirations with a positive attitude and with curiosity while making sure you have fun, you'll not only create a higher quality result, but you'll actually enjoy the journey and grow more along the way. But you have to identify each step that you want to take. Maybe you're interested in learning a new skill. So therefore, the first step might be researching and signing up for a class or a certificate or some license that you want to obtain so you can move yourself forward along your plan. Maybe a step in the plan is that you need to pay off some past debt so it's not weighing over your head anymore. Or maybe you've got credit issues or loans that are past due and creditors are calling you every day. If you have these things hanging over you, it affects you much more than you realize. So trust me, you don't have to pay off all your debt tomorrow, but if you sit down and address it and put a plan in place that makes sense to you, you'll reap the rewards. So as you develop your plan, create a start date so you know when the project is happening, then lay out a list of all the steps that you want to take, and you'll recognize as you do that, more steps will come. As you're working the plan, some steps will go away, some new ones will be discovered, and you'll become more refined and more polished and more focused at the things that you actually want to do. And the great thing is that each step you take, each bit of energy you invest, improves your thinking, improves your attitude, and your results, as well as it'll provide you with new insights on ways to continue to grow. That's awesome. But definitely make sure you sit down and make a list of your obligations and any commitments or promises that you made. And make an arrangement, an agreement with yourself to clear them up. Because if you really want luck on your side, you have to remove this type of negativity from your life, from lingering in the background. Now, I hope you're starting to see how this process can begin to improve your luck. Basically, if you want to be lucky, you have to have the right attitude. You have to be willing to face your fears and improve your skills. I mean, when you think about it, when you think about luck, we generally think about something that went very well for us, right? That means the result that came from the luck was something that we actually wanted. Therefore, we were in the right place and time to receive that gift. But if your head is filled with problems, and you have a bad attitude, and you're treating people poorly, and you have all these fears, then luck is going to feel like a million miles away. So start today and work on these 3 steps that I provided you with, and start seeing better results immediately. Be sure to go back and read my Pure Joy article, okay? Attitude is everything. It will provide you with 3 other steps to help improve your attitude. And between the article and today's show, there is no reason why you shouldn't experience vastly better results over the next 30 days. So have fun and keep me updated on your progress. All right? Now, let's head over and dig into some of our questions for today, okay? We got a lot of those puppies firing, and I see some good ones here. So let's start with number 1. All right, how do I know what I'm good at? Or how do I find my strengths if I don't know what they are? That's a great question. And it's obviously very important if you want to improve the way you feel and your results that you're getting in life, right? So how do you figure out what you're good at, or how do you figure out what your strengths are if you don't know what they are? My suggestion is to start by identifying the things you love to do. Now remember, we talked about this in the past. Unfortunately, the mistake that most people make when they start to set goals or they want to make a change in their life is they start overwhelming themselves with all the things they think they should do, all the things that people have told them that they have to do. But what that does is give you more of what you already have that you don't want. So rather than sitting down and making a list that you don't even want to execute, instead, sit down and come up with a list of things that you love to do, okay? Things that you'd love to be doing every day in your life. Because when you're passionate about doing something or excited about learning, you'll not only learn the skill faster, but you'll integrate it into your life at a more rapid pace. And what that means simply, you'll start enjoying the results faster and more consistently. Now, don't get me wrong. There are skills in life that you will need at times, but you may not want to learn them. Or they may be something that you have to do for work or a career, etc., but they're not a priority at the moment. Okay? So they're based on the situation you're in, such as a relationship or a career, and they may be important for you to learn them. But overall, you want to be in control of the direction of your life. You truly have the ability to create your life, but it takes work. And you have to embrace the concept that in order to achieve your dreams, you have to start doing the things you love. And you have to start doing the things you love because they keep you committed and focused and excited to keep pursuing that goal. Make sense? Great. All right, so again, make a list of all the things you love to do, all the things you love to be doing all the time, and figure out why you want to do them. Once you figure out something that you want to do, understand how serious you are about doing it. Understand also whether that project, that goal will actually turn out to be something in the end that's beneficial to you, okay? But start practicing today, making lists of things you're excited about doing, making lists of things you're already good at doing, and then write down why you love them, why you'd like to do them, okay? So after you finish that, go back through the list again and organize them. Make a list from top down. This will start to give you an idea of the areas of your life and interests of the priorities. So if you have this list, which item do you want to do more than the other? I have 5 things I love to do. Why do I love to do them? Here's my reasons, and here's the order of these 5 things, and which is the one I love the most. Make sense? Good. This will start to give you an idea of the areas of your life that you're most interested in pursuing, or the skills that might be most important to you in the long run. Okay? This is great. Again, focus on the love. Don't look for the things you feel stressed or overwhelmed that you have to do, or things that people have told you that you need to have. Start by doing something you're inspired by. When you're inspired and you're focused, you will stay committed and you'll get better results no matter what you're working on. Nice question, you guys. Thank you. All right. Let's see what we got for number 2. Okay. What do you advise someone to do when they try a plan and it fails? You guys already know what I'm going to say to this one, don't you? Get back up and try again. No, seriously. That's the short answer, but let me give you the detailed long answer, okay? So yes, of course, I want you to get back up and try again. But more importantly, before you try again, you need to make sure that the energy you're putting forth towards accomplishing this goal is actually going towards a goal that you want, right? We've talked about this. This ties in real well with question number 1. Question number 1 asked, how do I know what my strengths are, and how do I know what I'm good at doing? While number 2 is asking, what do I do when we fail at a goal or a plan? But the mistake that most people make is not making sure that the goal that you want, that this is a goal that you want in the first place. Is this goal something that you want because you love doing it? Is it something that you want because you see that down the road it will help improve your life in some way? Or are you pursuing this goal because someone told you to do it? Or maybe there's someone that in your family that's in your ear and influences the decisions you make, and therefore you're not fully committed, right? You have to answer this question first to make sure that you're putting your energy and your focus in the right places. Now, if the answer is yes, then this is a great goal to work on, right? But if the answer is no, then you need to understand why you were pursuing it in the first place, and if there's a better goal to replace it with. But let's just say you analyzed your goal, and you've already determined that you want this goal. Then it's time for the second step, which is to look at what you've done so far in your process and what you've accomplished, okay? Let's say, for instance, let's say that you wanted to lose 5 pounds this month, and you wanted to do this by developing a healthy routine of working out 4 times a week and following a specific meal plan, okay? Now, the first week comes around, and you miss the first day. Then by the end of the first week, you've only made it to the gym twice. And over the average of the whole month, you only end up going to the gym 6 times instead of 16. And you didn't lose any weight. Now, for most of us, we would instantly feel bad and start having negative self-talk. We start telling ourselves we aren't good enough and all that jazz. But that's a mistake, because you need to look at the goal again. Remember, positive attitude? You need to look at the goal again and see if you really wanted it. Because if you really do want it, and you did put forth some effort, then there are bound to be some gains. So let's say that you look at the goal, and your answer is yes. you do see the benefit in creating a healthy behavior of working out each week and also losing 5 pounds. So why weren't you able to commit to the goal then? What happened that got you so far off track? The way to answer this question is to look at the steps that you took and the steps that you've accomplished successfully, okay? So in the example that I gave, even though the person didn't make it to the gym all 16 times that they wanted that month, and they didn't lose the 5 pounds that they wanted ideally to lose, they still did go to the gym 6 times during the month. That's still a level of success because the person changed a behavior. They adopted something new and they got themselves to start working towards the goal. But something else didn't work. So we have to figure out what that is and not throw the whole goal away. See, you already determined you want it. So it's something in the steps. So what is the fact? What is it? Was the fact that were you too busy with work and didn't carve out time? Maybe after you looked at your schedule, you realized you didn't set specific days and times that you were going to go to the gym, right? So those times were already booked. Maybe when you look back over your plan, you realize that you did a pretty good job of showing up at the gym, but you did a terrible job with your meal plan. Whatever the adjustments, that's the key to success. It's the discipline to stick with your behaviors and goals in life that you know are beneficial to you. So the answer here is to look at what worked and what didn't and reapply the things that worked and adjust the things that didn't, okay? Remember, the simple way to always know what next step to take is just ask yourself this. Do I need to learn something or do I need to do something, okay? If I'm going to go to the gym next month and work out and lose 5 pounds, how do I want to do it? Start there. You'll find that you have more success in life when you work towards finding ways to do things you love and also by understanding that you can reach a goal in many different ways. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You can actually figure out how to approach a goal in a way that you actually enjoy the journey, right? So the steps you take are steps that you're actually truly excited about taking. That's the point. You don't want to set up a goal. You don't want to set up a journey. It's going to be hard work. It's going to take time. Make sure that you're invested in the full journey and you're excited about each step because each step should provide you with benefits, with gains, and with positive results. Okay? Great question, guys. Really good stuff. All right, question number 3. Where's the best place to start doing research if you want to change something important in your life or find a new project to focus on? Really good question. Awesome question, guys. I'm glad somebody actually asked about this. I was talking about this a lot this past week. Research. You know, I think research is a very important behavior that is not common in most people nowadays. Unfortunately, research has almost become a dirty word. And for most of us, we relate it to hard work or schoolwork. And therefore, we don't have the attitude and appreciation that we should have for doing research. And honestly, research is the first step in preparation, right? The more prepared you are, the more successful, the more lucky, the more fruitful in the end. You need to do research to figure out the ideas that you have, to understand whether they're capable of being accomplished, right? And how. You need to research your goals so you understand the steps and the skills you need to accomplish them. You'll need to research potential pitfalls or challenges you may face along the way so you can prepare and you can overcome them without being thrown off the apple cart. You have to conduct research to discover new ideas and concepts to learn and to pursue. So research is a fundamental part of your growth. And in my opinion, it's something you should be doing weekly, right? And by that I mean, if you're pursuing things you love and enjoy in your life each week, then you should be actively researching information to help you accomplish those goals and to improve that process, to make it more effective and more efficient, right? You should research everything. Everything from people who can help you to improve your skills to the tools and knowledge that can help you advance your process, right? Take a quantum leap. Now, the question was, where should I start my research? And it may surprise you, but my answer is inside your head. When you start working, whenever I start working with a new client, one of the first things that I explain to them, and one of the first lessons that we actually do is all based around my coaching technique, the Ideal You. What I explain to everyone and what the Ideal You teaches you is the fact that what you see and what you experience in life is all based around your perception of the world. So where you grew up, the way you were raised, the family that you grew up with, the educational system that you went through, and the economic landscape of where you grew up. Even the geography of where you grew up. All these things affect the way you see the world and the decisions you make. So what I coach my clients to be able to do is to wake up each day with a smile on their face and go to bed feeling fulfilled and happy each night. And the only way to do that is by designing your life based on the things you want. So to begin your research, sit down and spend some time meditating first. Okay? Yes, meditation. When you begin meditating, don't have a goal in mind except to just let go. Trust me, for most of us, just getting to the point of sitting down for 3 to 5 minutes and letting go will be quite a lesson itself. So before you get heavy into creating a plan or overwhelming yourself with if you're doing it right or how it should be, just make sure you can meditate and let go. Allow yourself to just be free for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. Okay? This is step number 1. After you've done this for, let's say, a week or 2, you've mastered this process of letting go. When you begin to notice that your mind is becoming more creative and more curious, all the noise, all the negative self-talk will become quieted. And therefore, you regain access to other parts of your mind, other faculties that may have been shut down. You'll become more passionate about pursuing your dreams. You become more curious as to new ways to accomplish your goals. And you become more effective, more creative, and more innovative, which will quantum leap you forward in your success. So trust me, sit down today or first thing tomorrow and meditate for 2 to 5 minutes and just let go. Then again, after you've done this for a couple weeks, when you know that you can sit down and kind of get into this mode and let go and wash away all the stress and fears, after you've done it for a couple weeks, then I want you to add one more step to the process. Okay? Before you begin meditating, after you've done your 2 weeks of mastering meditation and letting go, what I want you to do is think of a question that you'll ask yourself each day. Okay? It's got to be a positive question that sparks curiosity and creativity in your mind. Okay? This question should be related to helping you pursue something that you want in your life. Let's say, for instance, you're thinking about a new career path. So after you've spent 2 weeks meditating and just letting go, and you become good at that, then I want you to wake up in the morning and ask yourself a question like this. How would I like to spend my days? We're talking about all your days. So how do you want to spend 24/7? And then just let go. Allow your mind to present you with pictures and symbols and images, whatever it wants. Just notice them. Continue to ask yourself this question, or if a new question comes up that's inspired by the other questions, use that. And soon you'll notice this process is like unraveling a sweater. With each answer and each solution, you'll discover more questions and more solutions. But the fun part is you're in the right attitude. So these questions are all helping you to create a picture in your mind that you actually want. And once you've created an idea or a picture in your mind, and you can clearly understand it, then write it down someplace. Someplace where you can save the idea to come back to later. Now, you should start identifying the steps you want to actually take to get there. Remember, the key here again is to choose steps that you'd actually love to do. You know, we tell ourselves we have to do something a certain way all the time. And that's because we have a fear or a lack of information keeping us from knowing that there's another way. But don't fall privy to that. There are other ways. You can always find a way to do things the way you want. And if you really don't want to do them, then don't. It's your life. As long as you're not hurting someone else or yourself, make the decision that you want to make. Okay? Good work, guys. Excellent question. All right, let's move on. Question number 4. Can you suggest some favorite books or readings that will help us increase our knowledge and skills? Yes, absolutely. So the question was, can I suggest some good books for you guys? Yes, I love reading and I love sharing books with other people, especially to see if they feel the same way about the book after they read it as I did. And I enjoy finding out what they understood from the book and how that relates to my experience. So yes, I'd love to give you guys some books. I'm sure you guys are already writing this stuff down, but I'll give you a quick second in case you're not, so you can grab something, and then I'll give you these names. Okay, that's probably good. So, Again, go ahead and write these names down. So I'm going to give you a couple of them here, okay? And for this round, they're all coming from my favorite author, whose name is Malcolm Gladwell. Now, if you want to improve your luck, he's the guy to do it. Malcolm Gladwell is phenomenal. He's also a master NLP coach and trainer like myself, and he's written several New York Times bestsellers that focus on human behavior and how decisions affect who we become in life. I'm going to give you 3 books that are also my favorite books because they're incredibly insightful and entertaining to read, and they'll also help you with luck. All right, so here's the first one, and this one is my absolute favorite book. It's called Blink. Okay, Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. It's an incredible book that teaches you about the power of the mind and decision making. And it pairs really nicely with what we're talking about today. You know, the essence of this information that we're discussing and the essence of the information in this book is understanding that when you prepare your mind with the skills and the knowledge necessary for you to be happy and to create the life that you desire, you're able to start thinking and making decisions way more strategically, way more effectively, and definitely quicker, okay? And your results will be much higher quality. So I definitely suggest everyone check that one out if you haven't already, okay? Again, Blinks is discussing how if you have preparation in your mind, you know the things you want, and you're in a situation, how you quickly think or fear overrides and stops you. But it teaches you how to move through that reaction, that block, and become more strategic and have more momentum towards your future, okay? It's a great book. Now the second book, the other book of Malcolm's I want to suggest is called Outliers. Outliers is phenomenal as well, and it will really open your eyes to a new way of thinking and seeing the world. And it's probably much different than most other books that you've read. I enjoy the way that this book talks about the effects of your environment, your education, even the time period in which you were born, or where you geographically live, and how these things affect the course of your life. Now, when you read this book, it'll blow your mind. For instance, one of the things one of the examples in the book that Malcolm talks about that I've always found fascinating, and I didn't really know, is regarding hockey players. Now, I never knew, but there's actually a certain age when a child will have to wait that wants to learn hockey before they can enter the program. They'll have to wait and enter the training program with younger kids due to their time of year in which they were born. So they get held back, basically, in their training because of when their birthday is. But just this simple change has shown time and time and time again to affect the entire career of this child and their chances for this child to excel in hockey and for them to potentially even become a pro someday, right? It's crazy. The system wasn't designed this way on purpose, but it wasn't noticed because the effects take so long to be realized. So a child's life between, adolescence all the way up to being a young adult, high school, all the way into college to professional age, all of that is affected when you look at the graph over 20 years of time. Fantastic book. So this is very powerful for you to read. And again, it'll help you understand some changes you can make right now in your life that could vastly affect your results. All right? I also enjoy reading his book called Tipping Point, which, so let me give you the minute to write that down. Tipping Point. All right? And this one talks about how to master a skill or become an expert in an area. Now, I learned this information, I read this book quite a while back, and just through reading this book and understanding this concept that he discusses, I elevated my success and my skills over and over, time and time again. And what I'm talking about, one of the findings that Malcolm has in his research is how many hours it takes for someone to become an expert in a field or for them to master a skill. Okay? Now, through his research, he discovered that it takes 10,000 hours, okay? Which can be done in 7 years consecutively, like nonstop. Like when you see a young person who's a virtuoso at like the violin or the piano or ballet or something, as a child, you can spend a lot of time, you're not pulled away for jobs, etc. But a consecutive 7 years working all the time, or 10 to 12 years working disciplined will generally get you there because it's going to take a little bit longer. But he interviewed incredible people like Steve Jobs and other brilliant minds and inventors of our time that have done these great things that have moved our civilization forward. And with every study that he did, He found the answer came up the same every time, 10,000 hours. So when I learned that, it changed my life. That information alone was enough to inspire me to commit 10,000 hours towards my craft, knowing that the worst case scenario would be the fact that I'd end up with a great business and many hours of honing in my skills and experience, right? And the best case scenario was that he was right and I'd become an expert. Well, I can tell you from my personal experience that 10,000 hours works. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, and it works. And you can tell the difference. The more hours you get, the more time you commit. With the right attitude, you start to see changes in yourself. These fears, these things that lay over your body that you worry about, the overwhelm, the concerns, they fall away. You just start shifting it into a mindset. And when you're inside of something for so long, you understand it so deeply that you're no longer concerned with what I call the surface or shell problems. The things that people that don't understand the thing are trying to crack to get inside the egg. Well, if you're already in the egg, you see everything a lot differently. So the more hours you spend, the deeper you get into understanding that concept. And that's the 10,000 hours. It's incredible. So if you're pursuing something you're passionate about, or you want to excel at something, I would highly suggest that you guys run out and pick up this book. I'd suggest you pick up all these books and read them in the next several weeks. They'll definitely change your life. I can confidently say that you'll gain powerful insights that will benefit your future. Right? That was excellent. Thank you guys for asking that question. I love sharing books, and I look forward to hearing what you guys discover from them. So awesome question. Like that one a lot. All right, let's go to number 5 here, our final question. What are the 2 most common mistakes you see people making when they want to change their life? Another excellent question. And again, this ties in really well with what we've been talking about today. So here's the 2 biggest and probably most common mistakes that I see people making over and over again, time and time again, when they want to change their life. Okay? I mean, I could go on about this for days, but these are the things I see people doing over and over. Okay? The first and probably most detrimental thing that people do, we talked about this a little bit earlier, they approach change with a bad attitude. I mean, that kind of goes along with everything we're talking about, right? From your attitude all the way down to research. Everything you do should be done with a positive attitude and an attitude of curiosity. Again, what this means is that you should be doing things you love, right? If you're working towards a goal and you're unhappy, or you're working towards a goal and you don't like the steps, and you don't see the results coming, I hate to tell you this, but you're working on the wrong goal. But when you work on things you love, and you put your energy into these things, you will create a better life for yourself and vastly improved results. When you're going after things you want, you'll find a new level of commitment and discipline that takes you much further than you've ever been before. But the trick again is making sure you really want it, and not because somebody else told you should have it, or they're stressing or forcing you in the background. It's because you really truly want it, and you're going to stick with it. Now sometimes it's hard. You know, sometimes we have a loved one or a boss or a friend who influences your decisions. But in the end, it's your life, and it's your results, right? And if you've done the right preparation, you'll understand whether this goal fits into your future plan or not for you, and not anyone else, all right? So number 1 thing that I see people doing is approaching change with a bad attitude and a disbelief that they'll be successful, right? The second thing that I see people doing is giving up too easy. If you really want something, it's going to take work. Let me say that again because I think that confuses a lot of people. If you really want something, it's going to take work. Everything in life takes work. But the difference is what we've been talking about all day. The work doesn't have to be painful. The work doesn't have to be something you hate. It can be something you love. Each step can be something that benefits you or is fruitful or you're passionate about or excited about, right? You should clearly understand that every step has a purpose. If it doesn't, that step shouldn't be there. Or you need to find out what's wrong with that step, right? So if you really want something, it's going to take work. The work will be rewarding, but it's still work. If you find yourself giving up or having trouble staying focused, then you've chosen the wrong goal. Or you may have uncovered a fear that was holding you back. And instead of giving up, you just need to determine whether this fear is valid or not. And if the fear is valid, ask yourself, well, what do I need to do? Or what do I need to learn to let it go so that you can empower yourself? Does that make sense? But oftentimes, we end up giving up too early. That's the thing people do most. They give up too early. It's just like when I go to the gym to do a workout. I see people lifting weights, and They come up on a machine, grab a hold of weight, and as soon as they start exercising and exert any energy or start to sweat, they quit. The reality is, the results don't start coming until you start sweating. So if you quit when the sweat starts, you didn't get much results, right? Remember this as you head into the next week and the next month, and start using these tools, right? Start using the tools we discussed today to help you discover more luck, more of the things you love, and create more success in your life, okay? The goal again is starting with the right attitude. And that attitude is approaching change positively. Why go for it if you don't want to do it? If there's something you want to change, because there's something you want better in your life, right? So be excited about it. If you're not excited, that means there's something you're afraid of. There's something you're doubting. Maybe you don't believe you can be successful. Break it down and understand, if I really want this and see the benefit, then why am I not doing it? Be objective, remove the emotion, just figure out what's working in the steps and what's not. Stay focused with the right attitude, okay? Once you do that and you make sure the things you're doing are things that you love, your life will begin to change. You'll find a new clarity, a new focus, a new purpose, and a lot more motivation. Thank you guys. This was an awesome show, and I really appreciate all the awesome questions. Of course, I look forward to seeing you guys again next time. Remember to drop by my website. Here's the address below for you right here, brettballman.com/contest, and be sure to enter the contest today. Seriously, guys, if you're on here watching this show, you must be interested in changing something in your life. You're looking for some type of information to either elevate yourself, doesn't mean there's a problem, maybe you just want to get even better, maybe you want to learn a new skill, right? Or maybe there is something wrong in your relationship, your health, your life, and you're trying to figure out what to do to switch it. If that's the truth, you should be hopping over my website. This is free for you and takes 30 seconds. This is a question you have to ask yourself. If opportunities are hanging there and you're not taking them, what's missing? So here's one for you right now. Take it. And when other opportunities show up like this, take them. Otherwise, sit down and use all the techniques I've been giving you and determine what you want. So the next time an opportunity like this presents itself, you're ready to take it in a blank. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next time. And remember, extraordinary is only a thought away.